Hello again. It's Mark Turner down in Sydney. Um, Today's video is about who I am and why I think this is going to work and what kind of company I want to create. Now, hopefully, I can remember those three things. We'll see. Couple things. Number one, I have several computers. So this is other computer. The background's different because I'm at a different angle inside the room. This is computer number two. Computer number one's over there. And yeah, so don't freak out the fact that the room has suddenly changed. A little weird. Number two, don't worry about the fact that I'm unshaven and wearing my pajamas. I don't care. It's my life. It's my company. It's my idea. If you don't like it, really don't care. If and this guy's actually a really bad example. If Sam Bankman-Fried, thief that he was, um, can run around in shorts and a t-shirt and basically fool everyone into giving him not just millions, but billions of dollars. Okay, apparently, image doesn't matter. So it does matter, obviously. A first impression always matters. And yes, I am self conscious about the fact that I'm wearing my pajamas right now, but it's after midnight. It's now April 7th in Australia. Yesterday was my birthday. I did absolutely nothing except eat lots of pizza. Oh my God, my tummy. Um, yeah, that was a bad idea. But um, so today I sat there and I watched all my video. I watched my two videos, the introductory videos. Remember, I only get 15 minutes at this point because YouTube hasn't approved me. So I'll get that fixed. Eventually, I'll be able to have nice long videos, but for now it's 15, and that's fine. Um, and uh, so I wanted to sit there and say who I am. So a couple things. One, how can you possibly invest in a cryptocurrency scheme of any kind in which the creator is unknown, refuses to identify him or herself? Are you kidding me? To sit there and do the whole, oh no, but it's all about decentralized finance. It's all about the concept that, you know, we want anonymity. Anonymity is good. And I get that. You want to be able to buy a token, send it someplace else, cash it out someplace else, and be able to, do things like that. And that makes perfect sense. That's one of the great things about DeFi is the concept that I can sit there and take a million tokens, send them to somebody in the United States, they can then cash it out there and then take their money and put it in their bank account, and they've crossed international borders and no, how do I say this? No fees have been incurred. When I'm sending money to myself in bank accounts in the United States, like when I was paying off bills and stuff like that, I used to have an American bank account. Oh my goodness, they would take, I wouldn't say 10%, maybe 1%. They would take money that I was sitting here and I'm like, I'm just using the SWIFT system, right? The system that Russia got itself kicked out of the other day. Um, wow. Oh, not good. Um, so yeah, I get that. But how could you possibly trust someone who doesn't sit there and show their face and say who they are? Guys, this is who I am. My name is Mark Turner. I live in Sydney, Australia. If you're in Sydney, Australia, geez, I'm trying to get this closed. I don't like, I'm old-fashioned and I'm somewhat conservative, so I don't like showing off a lot of my body. That's weird. Um, if you're in Sydney, Australia, and you want to meet me, go for it. If this thing takes off, if a year from now we've got millions of dollars in the bank and you're like, I want to meet this guy, I don't trust him. I don't necessarily believe in what he believes. Well, then, first of all, why have you put your money in the token? But let's say you have. Let's say you've invested a certain amount in the token and you sit there and say, hey, I'm going to be in Sydney. Mark, let's meet up. Okay. I'm not some BS liar. That's one of the things that drives me crazy. A world in which the internet allows people to advertise to everyone, to put their videos on YouTube, to sit there and put out, to promulgate their ideas, and yet remain totally anonymous. I mean, you see anybody you're watching on television who's got a big flag behind him, carrying guns, and a bandana over their face because they're going to tell you something, maybe not be the person you want to trust because they're refusing to show you their face. Maybe they're afraid that the FBI is going to come knocking on their door because they're espousing hate speech or saying that you should act violently towards another human being. You see what I'm saying? Guys, come on, let's all grow up here. That's not the way human beings are supposed to behave. If you're going to do something, be responsible, which is why I'm doing this video. I want you to know who I am. Okay, so I just realized I have a really bad habit of going off on tangents. Sorry. I'm Mark Turner. I was born in Burlingame, California, which is just a little bit south of San Francisco. My dad worked in San Francisco in family Turner and Company Plumbing and Heating. Been there for 100 years. Family business. My brother, myself, my cousin, we all went, nope, we're good, thank you. We didn't like plumbing. So we all said no thank you. Probably big mistake. But when you're young, you don't know, right? So we didn't take over the business. We all went off on our own ways. Mom and dad, wonderful people. Dad was a plumber, contractor. He could build you a house. The only thing he couldn't do was the electrical wiring. At least legally. He could do it, but he wasn't supposed to. But he could build you the house and he could do all the plumbing. My dad was amazing. My mom was an English teacher. Very strict, very serious. People who studied with her went on to places like Stanford. And at Stanford, they would be like, my professors are fine with my level of English. They're quite, nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I had smart parents, I had nice parents, I had good parents. Okay. Because my dad worked in San Francisco so much, and he worked like 50% of the time in San Francisco's Chinatown because he had a deal with one of the big companies that owned a lot of the properties in and around Chinatown. When I was a kid, I would go with my dad. So we would spend a lot of time when I was a kid. What I mean is the summers, right? So the summers I would work with my father, and we would go, and a lot of it was running around Chinatown, and I loved it. San Francisco's Chinatown was the coolest place in the world. It is still the coolest place in the world. And when I just took a trip back to the United States about a year ago, oh my God, it was only 5 months ago. Wow, 5 months ago, I took a really brief trip back to the United States. The one place I visited in San Francisco was Japantown and Chinatown. I love Nihon Machi, Japantown, and I love Chungguocheng, Chinatown. It was so much fun. So here's the deal. So when my dad, a lot of time in Chinatown, I got really enamored of it. I went off to. I'm so old that Chinese was not taught in schools at all. Couldn't find it. I had to teach myself a little bit of Chinese, talk to my Chinese fellow students in high school. Couldn't learn Chinese anywhere. The local community college had only Chinese 101 and Chinese 102. That was it. You couldn't get past first year. There was no Chinese at the local community college. You had to go to the big universities and stuff. So it doesn't matter. Over the years, I've gone to university and I have studied here, there, and everywhere. I've gone to tons of different schools because I loved learning. And I eventually graduated with a bachelor's degree in history from the University of Washington in 1999. And then I moved down here to Sydney, Australia in January of 2002. And I sat there and I started studying and eventually graduated with a bachelor's degree in Mandarin Chinese down here. I have a whole bunch of master's degrees. It doesn't matter. Okay, just basically trust me, I'm not a dumb bunny. All right, I'm a very smart man, but I am not a very polished man. Okay, you put me in a suit, fine, looks okay. It's not who I am. It's not how I live. That's not who I am. I'm a normal guy. I have a regular old-fashioned job. I have a regular job where I go to work and I come home. My wife is a teacher. She's an early childhood teacher. My kids are both in school. My young one is in the 6th grade, and she's about to go. I'll tell you later, but she, young one is in 6th grade. Older one's in 10th grade. They're great kids. I'm a lucky, lucky man. I was watching a video on random acts of kindness on YouTube because that's the kind of guy I am. And it was this little angel princess on Halloween because you know the videos that the camera that can watch your front door. So the family didn't want to be bothered on Halloween, so they put out a big bowl of candy. Scumbag thief comes along wearing the black hoodie and everything, so you can't see his face, and he steals all the candy. The candy bowl's empty. Along comes little princess with her mom in tow. You see her mom in the background. She sees that the bowl is empty. She figures out what's happened. She takes half her candy and puts it back in the bowl. It's not her house. She just doesn't want other people to suffer because of some one individual's bad action. Now, if you agree with me that that's the right kind of behavior, then yes, now you understand how Mark is. Now you understand the way I look at the world. Yes, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of generosity is not a bad thing. Okay? So I guess this first video is just basically just me telling you who I am. So I'll get to the other stuff in a minute because I'm already at 11 minutes 30 seconds. Wow, that was quick. Um, so I moved down here in Australia and I basically just worked. I was a normal person. I had jobs, nothing special, right? In the United States. Uh, I never got fired from a job. I never really did anything special in any of my jobs. I was just a worker, like everybody else, like all the normal people. This is for the little people. If you're a little person like me and you want to sit there and do something better in the world, if you want to make things better for other people, not just yourself, yes, I do want you to make some money. You buy a billion of these coins right now and hold on to them, okay? Just let me do the work. Let me keep selling the company. Let me get more and more investors. That's my job. I need to get more and more investors. The more investors I get, the price goes up. At some point in the future, if you sit there and say, cool, I put $1,000 in, it's now worth $10,000. I'm out of here. Okay, great. Good for you. Well done. All right. I don't disagree with the crypto world. Uh, Despite the fact that crypto crashed a little while ago, prior to that, back when it was, all the rage, um, I sat there and I did quite well in crypto. I invested $12,000. I ended up getting $20,000 back. I made $8,000 clear profit just from choosing the right crypto while crypto was on its way up. Okay, that's entirely possible. I got lucky. That was, oh God, 2, 3 years ago now. And I'm sitting here saying, you guys can do as well. All right. I don't like all the phrases. I don't like the hodl and FOMO and all that. Ugh, I don't like that. And FUD. Come on. All right. When people sit there and start making up little slogans that are designed to get them what they want, okay? Because that's what's going on. You might want to avoid a company that sits there and says, "Oh, that's just FUD," or "That's just, hey, come on, you don't want to miss out. Oh, come on, hold on for dear life. If you hold on, just hold on for dear life." Anybody who's pitching you that, yeah, maybe not the people you want to necessarily be investing your money with. I'm not going to do that. It's not my style. All right, if you want to sell and you make a little bit of profit, good for you. Well done. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? I'm thinking because I know the future, because I'm going to keep working on this for years, I know that in the end, you probably would do better if you held on. But don't listen to me. Make your profit if you can. Go for it. I'm already at 14:35. Wow. Okay, I'll carry this on in Who I Am video number 2. See you in a minute.